Hello, my man. Welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time watching, welcome. This is the Valiant lifestyle, and this is more than a channel. This is a resource. This is an encyclopedia. This is information that is useful to you, my man, when you're really putting the tires to the road. What do I mean by all that? Well, first thing I want you to do is, if this is your first time subscribing, welcome. And I would love to invite you to subscribe easily right here. Subscribe button, hit all. That allows all of my content to flow to you, and you will be notified whenever it becomes available. And let's go from here. All right. So today, how does a blended family husband, a valiant blended family husband, overcome the battles and the arguments? How does the blended family husband, the valiant blended family husband, overcome the battles and the arguments? It takes practice. Honestly, it takes practice. If you go back to one of my very first videos talking about this, it'll be number 13, and it talks about fair fighting. And fair fighting is creating that container for you and your wife, your significant other, your spouse, your partner, so that she feels safe stepping into it, and that when you do that, you both can step into it and talk about the things that are really, really, really grinding your gears. But why this is near and dear to me is because in every relationship, and in particular one within a blended family, especially as a husband and repartnering, it is most essential to fundamentally come together, create a foundation, create a safe space, because it'll tear you apart if you don't. And make no mistake, you're going to be bringing lots of other things like baggage, like limiting beliefs, ideas of how you want this relationship to go based upon your last relationship into this relationship. I know, because I've done that. And much of that hasn't worked. I've had to rejig, I would say 98% of how I make manifest of this relationship. And it's because my mindset was set for the old relationship and even the previous one before that. And coming into this, I had to develop a brand new mindset to do that. So how do you do that? Well, there's three fundamental things that I want you to know about this. And the first one is, become aware of your thoughts and the words you use when you argue and when you go to battle. And I want you to be fair. Be absolutely cognizant of the words you use. Here's why. The words you use, the language you use, the actions, when you're cognizant of them and you're aware of them, they're actually occurring to you too. What? Yeah, I know, it's weird. But here's the thing. When you're calling out your wife and when you're saying the things that really don't impress you, or you're making statements within arguments and you're talking about these things, you got to be aware of your thoughts and your actions. You got to be aware of the words that you're using, because you're actually calling yourself out in the same vein. You're actually speaking about what is happening to you, what is wrong with you, if you will, if you want to use that language. I don't prefer to use that. But what is actually something that you want to change within yourself, and you're projecting that outward. Let me give you an example. If I were to say to my wife, I don't like the way that you do not talk to me, or that you just go ahead and do something without my consent, that means that I would do that too. That means that that's something that I have already thought about myself doing, but hadn't thought about holding myself accountable to. And this has happened. This has happened to me. Actually, this has happened recently, where I found myself in argument going, wait a minute, I don't want to say this out loud, but I'm doing this too. You got to be honest with you, because your body knows what betrayal looks like. And when you are not truthful to yourself, your body keeps that score. And that will become a physical, painful thing within your body up here as well. The second thing, so that was the first thing. Become humbly aware of your thoughts and your words, because they're a mirror when you're doing battle or you're arguing. The second thing is, do as much listening as you possibly can. I want you to listen to her. I want you to listen to her, because within her words, you're going to find out exactly who you are too. Because you're going to go, I don't want to say this out loud yet, because I'm not going to win this argument, but I do these things too. And I do those things. I've caught myself in similar situations, and it takes so much willpower to dig in and say, yeah, you know what, you were right, and I was wrong in this. But you know what's most beneficial for you in that frame? When you admit that truth to yourself, that you were wrong, your body heals itself. How does it do that? You just heal that emotional discord within yourself, up here and right here within your heart. So do as much listening as you possibly can. And I know it sucks when it's a huge argument and that there's tone and yelling and language, but you gotta listen. You gotta listen. The third thing is, and this is the final thing, you gotta do this. It doesn't have to happen right away, but you gotta forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself. And you got to forgive her. You got to forgive her. Forgive yourself first. Forgive her. What does that look like, Jesse? Looks like this. I forgive myself knowing that I said those things. I forgive myself knowing that I used a tone, words, language that I didn't like in discourse with her. And it didn't really feel loving within my frame, my masculine frame. And then the thing you got to do after that, after you forgive yourself, you like declare it out loud. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And then you got to do it with her too. You got to declare it. I forgive you. I forgive you. Because what that does is it helps you move on. It helps you heal this. If you don't, and you use the withhold, you use withholding forgiveness as a weapon, you're only fooling yourself. You are only fooling yourself. Here's what that does. It becomes an emotional memory of the incident, a trauma within your body. And your body keeps the score of that. And it'll end up in one of your pain points physically. You think that I'm actually making this stuff up? I'm not. I see this within my practice. I see this within some of the clients that I bring in that come to me. And I can personally attest to this too. When I don't forgive, and I've used this as a weapon, forgiveness, the withholding forgiveness as a weapon, it only hurts me on the inside. And what it does as well is it prolongs things. You drag things out. And then what do? You wake up the next morning, you're feeling okay about yourself. And then you go back into, oh yeah, right, I forgot that I'm supposed to be angry with her. Right? You've done that. I know you've done that. I've done it. So the three absolutely fundamental things you've got to do are what? Become aware of your words and your thoughts, because they are a mirror to you. Second, be a listener. Do as much listening as you possibly can. And 3, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself and forgive her. Okay? First and foremost. All right. Now, much of this will resonate with many of you out there, and I'm glad that it does. And I take pride in what I do to get these messages out there, because I know that there are many of you blended family men, husbands, fathers out there that are just, there's got to be somebody out there that can help me. I can. I know what this is like. And I want you to do yourself a favor this time and make a decision to go to my website, thevaliantlifestyle.com, and I want you to book that 30-minute complimentary discovery call that you've been putting off. All right? I want you to finally get to it. And I want you to tell me your story. I want you to tell me your story when you book that call, because it's going to take somebody else to help you through this that has been there before. And if you haven't seen my accolades before, I will go the distance with you. I will go the distance with you. All these races are that of which my endurance and the distance that it takes, the stamina to get there. And I'm your guy. I'm a core vitality alignment coach, and I got you. All right. Thank you for watching, and let's do this.